Roman Catholic cardinals will begin the task today of electing a new pope, locking themselves away from the world until they choose the man they hope can unite a diverse but divided global church. No pope has been elected on the first day on a conclave for centuries, so voting could continue for several days. But for more on this, let's speak to SABC News Correspondent in Rome, Trent Murray. Trent, of course, this is the day, and we wait with bated breath to see who the next pope will be. But of course, the voting hasn't begun yet, but there's a whole series of events leading up to that first vote. Perhaps you want to talk us through what's expected today.
Well, a very good morning to you. That's right, those 133 cardinals from all across the world have spent the past 48 hours preparing for today, getting to know each other a little bit, but it is really the main event getting underway this Wednesday as they prepare to go into the Sistine Chapel, sealed off from the room and from the world rather, and prepare to vote for their next leader. We know that at around 10:30 a.m. Johannesburg time, they will have Mass together in the Vatican. They will then proceed to go to the Sistine Chapel, where they will take a vow of secrecy. It's a heavily shrouded event that will get underway. The Catholic Church is at great pains to try and make sure that that secrecy element of it isn't ruined. Non-essential staff will then leave the room, and at around 4:30 Johannesburg time, we expect that the doors will be sealed and they'll begin their deliberations. It is a very diverse group. 80% of the cardinals in there are appointees of Pope Francis. They don't necessarily know each other that well, and they also represent some 70 different countries. It's the most diverse group ever. The last time the conclave met back in 2013, just 48 countries were represented. So we will be very, very closely watching whether that new dynamic of more places represented from Asia, from Africa, could have a significant influence on what direction of travel the Catholic Church takes.
Yeah, indeed. And that's really a big focus for us here on the continent when we look at the representation of the African candidates that are in the front runners. And the nice thing is that we also see there are a lot of African cardinals that will be participating in the vote, including our very own South African, who is there, Cardinal Stephen Brislin. He's the Archbishop of Johannesburg. And of course, he's there representing South Africa's Catholic community in the conclave. So the chances of an African pope, what are we looking at? Obviously, they're top contenders, and I know one of them is from Ghana, perhaps.
Yeah, that's right. There are several names in the mix from the African continent that are considered real possibilities here. It includes the cardinals from Ghana, from Guinea, as well as Congo, and we know that they go into that conclave with a greater share of influence from the African continent. 18 countries represent, well actually 17 I should say, because the cardinal from Kenya couldn't make it because of health reasons. But nevertheless, it is the largest group ever that the African continent will see in the conclave. If one of those men was chosen to be the pope, it would be the first African pope in 15 first ever from sub-Sahara Africa. So we're still keeping a very, very close eye on that. Comments from some of those African cardinals yesterday as they were entering the Vatican, and they were sort of at great pains to say that they're not there representing a specific country or region. They're there, you know, for church unity and for what's best for the church. But certainly there's also a bit of politics at play here. And you imagine that just potentially some of those African cardinals may be thinking some sort of grouping, working together within that sort of factional battle for influence within the conclave.
Yeah, indeed. Just apologies to viewers. I know that the signal's not too good at this point, but we're going to persevere because we know that this is a big one. And certainly when you talk to those African leaders, I mean, we've got the DRC that are represented, Ghana, South Africa, as we mentioned, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Rwanda, Tanzania, South Sudan, Madagascar, Ethiopia, Morocco. We've also got Cape Verde and the Central African Republic, as well as Mali and Morocco and Cape Verde. I mean, the list is endless. This, as you say, is the longest. I just wanted to ask you this question, Trent, in terms of, we know that obviously there is the conclave. It's a lockdown. They're sworn to secrecy. It's a very private meeting, this one. But there are two, and you mentioned in your previous answer, two cardinals that are not able to physically be there due to health reasons. What happens there? Do they get to vote, or do they have to forfeit the vote?
No, they will have to forfeit their vote just because the voting system is quite old-fashioned. It involves writing a name of choice down on a piece of paper. There's no sort of ability to dial in and share a vote or to vote via proxy. So the original group was 135 Cardinals, but it is now down to 133 because the Cardinal from Kenya and also one from Spain couldn't make it due to health reasons. But what we will see is that when that room is in lockdown, they will deliberate, they will write their choice down on a piece of paper, and then the result will be announced in a quite unique way. If they do manage to select a candidate and they need to get a 2/3 majority to do that, then we will see smoke from a special chimney, white smoke. White smoke will be the symbol that they have managed to find a consensus for a new leader. If it's black smoke, then they effectively have to go back to the drawing board and do all of this again until they can make a decision. But incredible security measures underway in order to try and maintain the secrecy of all of this. We're being told the Sistine Chapel has been swept for listening devices, for cameras. They're going to close the curtains on the windows to make sure that drones can't get any shots of the Cardinals voting, and they're even going to block the mobile phone signal in the room to make sure no Cardinals have got a mobile phone on them or are able to share details from the inside. So a century-old tradition, but in a very modern digital world, the Catholic Church has to make sure that technology doesn't.
Yeah, indeed. All right, Trent, that connection is really giving us a few problems. But I think, one of the interesting facts as well, as much as the voting and however long it does go on for, one of the big oaths as well that the Cardinals play there is that they take a vow that they will not vote for themselves. So that's an important aspect as well. No pope can actually vote for themselves. It's forbidden, and it's customary and expected that a cardinal does not do so. One of the interesting facts as well, if I may throw this in, I'm not too sure if we've still got Trent. He might be back, but I'm just making sure that connection is okay, is that cutoff age of 80. And before 1970, any cardinal could vote. That was just the way it was. And anybody could be a part of this regardless of their age. But then Pope Paul VI changed the rules, barring cardinals over 80 for voting, just because of it's I suppose an age thing. So that's how we land up with that. But Trent, let me get a last question to you. So in terms of the proceedings, you spoke through that to us. 10:30 our time. That's when the Mass will start. Is this a public Mass that will be taking place? I know it's a private one that's happening as well, but talks of a public Mass taking place in the square? No? All right, we have lost Trent, unfortunately, but we will continue to touch base with them throughout the day. This is, of course, the start of the conclave. 10:30 is where that Mass will take place, and from there onwards, we will see the voting taking place this afternoon, the first one. And usually, as they say, it's never been a successful vote in the past. You never know, but that can continue for as long as a 2/3 majority goes to one candidate who will take over as the Pope.